What is up, car addicts? In this video, I'll be talking about this week's Dumb Money Event Week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for April 27th through May 3rd, 2023. In terms of returning vehicles, the ISI Rally is back, available for purchase, but only for the duration of this event week, which is till May 3rd, and then it will be removed again. And the hard mode for the last dose missions has finally been drip fed, which is kind of pointless if you ask me. Why is Rockstar drip feeding a difficulty mode on a mission? But anyways, plus there's also new wraps, glasses, accessories available. Anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Entity XF, the OG. This vehicle is primarily based on the Koenigsegg CCX and has a normal price of just under $800,000. To get this car for free, you have to place top 3 in a Street Series race for 3 days in a row. Now, in terms of performance, this car is in the supercar class and obviously isn't very competitive anymore, being an OG supercar. However, it's still faster on a track than the newer Entity XXR and even the newer Entity MT without the HSW upgrade, and the XF is the only Koenigsegg based vehicle in game without the slow handling flags. It has great handling considering it's an OG car and decent speed as well, plus it has a few customization options. I've had my personal Entity XF since 2013 and I've never sold it because personally I think it's a special OG supercar, was the best at one point, and I still think it drives really nice even in 2023. In terms of the test drive vehicles for this week, we have the Tulip, the Condro SJ, and the Peyote Gasser as well. And for current gen console users, we have the HSW Vigero ZX as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of a casino podium vehicle, we have the Ocelot Lynx. So this vehicle is primarily based on the Jaguar F-Type and has a normal price of about $1.7 million. Now, in terms of performance, this vehicle is in the sports class and is one of the slower cars in that class, but personally, I just love the way it looks, sounds, and drives. It's one of those cars that's overpriced in terms of performance, but the car itself just is really nice to own and drive. Honestly, I don't think it's worth paying $1.7 million for it, but if you can try and get it for free this week, I can guarantee most of you guys will really like this car. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos, we have the Entity MT and the Entity XXR. And for Simeons, we have the Tulip M100, the Stafford, the Kuruma, the Coquette D10, and the ISI Rally as well. Moving on to the discounts, in terms of the property discounts, we have 30% off the Eclipse Boulevard 50 car garage that was added with the Drug Wars DLC. So for those of you who need more space, this is a great deal here for sure. Moving on to the vehicle discounts, we have 25% off the Entity MT. So this car is of course in the supercar class and unfortunately has the slow handling flags, which Rockstar just copied and pasted over from the Entity XXR, including the same high-pitched exhaust note, which doesn't really sound all that great. One of the more controversial cars from the DLC for sure because of this. Now, it does offer HSW on current gen, however it just makes it go faster and doesn't really help with the slow handling flags or the poor handling that it has. If you're gonna buy it, I would only recommend purchasing it for the looks, because otherwise I don't personally think it's worth it. Moving on to the Southern San Andreas website, we have 25% off the Tulip M100. So this car is in the muscle car class and has great customization. However, it's pretty slow, being around the pace of some of the slower OG muscle cars like the Phoenix, for example. And lastly, we have 35% off the Armored Kuruma. So this one is super useful for missions because of its bulletproof windows and the fact that you can shoot out of it at the same time. I highly recommend buying this one if you don't own it already. Anyways, in terms of the quality of life changes, as Rockstar told us a couple weeks ago, on the 27th, which is today, the prices of these vehicles have been increased and some of them have been decreased as well. So for those of you who waited to buy a specific vehicle that went up in price, I guess rest in peace, but I guess if you were waiting to buy a certain vehicle that went down in price, I guess now's your chance to buy it. In terms of unlocks this week, if you complete the Last Dose Mission 1 on the new hard mode, you'll receive the Pink and Lime SC Coin Wraps glasses. And if you complete the Last Dose Mission 2 on hard mode, you'll get the classic DS Tiger embroidered designer jeans. Also, if you complete the Last Dose Mission 4 on hard mode without dying, you'll get the black VDG cardigan and white designer jeans. And lastly, if you complete all the Last Dose missions on the new hard mode, you'll unlock this new camo for the micro SMG. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on the versus mode acquired targets. And lastly, we have 1.5 times money on the Last Dose missions this week as well. Kind of lackluster in terms of bonus money this week, but I guess it is what it is. And lastly, for the time trials, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Construction Site 1. This week's normal time trial is Del Perro Pier. I highly recommend a vehicle with a high top speed for that one. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the Supercar Race Congestion Charge. I highly recommend either the Vest 8, Emerus, Krieger, or LM87 for that race. And if you're on current gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Vest 8 or the HSW Weaponized Ignis. And lastly, for current gen console users, the HSW time trial is Del Perro Beach. As always, the HSW Hakachu Drag would be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, there's really only 3 this week, but if I had to pick one, I would definitely go with the Armored Kuruma. I'm pretty sure most of you already own it, but if you don't, I highly recommend picking it up this week as it's super useful for missions with lots of enemies. Anyways guys, overall this event week is pretty terrible if I'm being, I wouldn't say terrible, I suppose. I guess I would say decent or below average. It's definitely not a good event week. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, only 2 bonus money opportunities this week. The versus mode and 1.5 times money on the Drug Wars Last Dose missions, which pretty much everyone's done. They have the new hard mode, but they really shouldn't have drip fed that. And then the discounts, only 3 vehicles on sale this week. That seems to be the new norm that Rockstar has been doing for some reason. Every event week I've been seeing 3 cars on sale. I think before that it was like 4. So yeah, 3 or 4 cars on sale every week. That's not all that great. So that's probably going to be the new norm. I guess it just is what it is. And for those of you who didn't know, this morning the update actually took, it was delayed about 4 hours to release. So usually Rockstar releases the update at about 4 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it released at around 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time, somewhere around there. So what people are saying is they had trouble with the price changes on the vehicles they talked about on the oppressor and all that. So that's why they had to delay it. But who knows? But yeah, not the best event week. Hopefully next week is better. Anyways, guys, hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.